Hey people, Zarswamp here, and welcome to episode 26 of Danganronpa! Last time we discovered that Chibi was, in fact, a guy. A trap, to be specific. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against people who are that way. I really don't. More power to them and the like. But just... when I just don't like that sort of shell-shock deceit, okay? I just don't, okay? It really just shook me up. But anyways, so let's continue on.
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
You can stop stealing my lines, Kyoko! Does Chihiro's track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Let's see what we have. Okay, we have Celeste's account. Let's just
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
Yes, we know that.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
He could have chosen any tracksuit.
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing!
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Wait, we didn't mention the color of the tracksuit.
No, that's wrong!
How would you know about the color of the tracksuit if we didn't even mention it?
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you... You just...
Hey, Celeste, what color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
Friggin' Taka! You are always serving as an antagonist to me. I'm dead serious. Just friggin' works me and Mondo being the merge, just all of a sudden you side with him.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
Personally, my nickname, as you all know, is Chibi, but Cherry could work too.
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
Personally, I felt Chibi was a better nickname.
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
How are you contorting your tongue like that? What are you, part salamander, lady?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
Yeah.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Hey, don't you start trying to climb onto Kyoko's logic train, Byakuya.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it. To put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
Wait, why?
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Okay. Mondo hasn't been acting any different. Because that was definitely out. I'd have to say it's the way he talks.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude.
I just figured that since Mondo felt that women were naturally inferior to men, I just felt that he had a great respect for Chibi, and that Chibi ascended into dudehood. She rose up a rank. I don't know, because it's Chibi.
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
And he couldn't have told me. He couldn't have given us a warning.
You noticed such a tiny detail? Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful.
I am starting to like this other personality of Toko more. Ironically enough, I like the serial killer personality of Toko more than Toko herself.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you?
No, Mondo, you're turning my world upside down, man. Freaking now I'm striking out 2 for 2.
Did you really kill Chihiro?
Yeah, but what would be his motive? Mondo's the type of guy where he wouldn't act rashly.
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
The fact that you run a biker gang?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... It's mine! It's Chihiro's.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Right.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there
well,
somewhere?
We're going to discuss that weak point.
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
It's going to probably be the weak point, and... Okay. Making its weak point.
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
Yes! Well, we just gonna forget it?
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and 2 of them broke in quick succession, then
we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
Since when does Monokuma ever want anything to be fair?
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbook?
Right!
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Bear puns! The bear puns are Dragon's Egg, but wait. So, in which case, Mondo is definitely up for it because of that sauna contest.
I flippin' knew it!
Stop taking my phrases.
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
Wait, are we actually learning things in this school?
If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Well, I never knew that. I learned something new. Learn something new every day. The more you know.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
Oh, don't you jump on my bandwagon, Taka. Don't you jump on it. I don't want you on my bandwagon. I'll push you off the bandwagon.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
The sauna
But
contest.
how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
Sauna contest.
What do you mean by accident?
2 words, sauna contest.
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke?
Yeah, and Taka was in. Yeah, and Mondo was in his full
They'd
uniform.
realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that?
I will sing the song. Mondo,
I don't know
Mondo,
of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
Mondo, Mondo, he did it. I'll have to say.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
If it hurts you, Taka, I will strike Mondo down. Okay, it had to be done. It had to be the one who wore all their clothes in the sauna. It was Mondo, 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 Mondo. There you go, Mondo.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either. Trust me, I like Mondo. He's a nice guy. But I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of doubt. Okay, make your argument. I'm gonna guess it's the broken handbook.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct,
Okay.
then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words,
Okay.
if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Okay, I'm gonna guess
Well, my
this.
goddamn handbook works just fine.
No, that's not it.
See? Look!
That's my guess. I'm good.
Makoto was wrong after all!
Yep.
Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Okay, I'm sure Mondo's handbook broke during this house. If I can just prove that, that would show the full thing. Okay, I'm gonna look through.
Let's test Makoto's assertion.
If what he said
You broke your own handbook.
In other words,
Okay.
if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Okay.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Let's go!
See? Look, Makoto was wrong. Mondo wouldn't hurt a
Freaking, I
fly.
hate that when that happens. I'm just trying to select the statement because I saw the
Let's test
own
Makoto's
handbook.
assertion.
The
If
broken
what he
handbook
says
is Mondo's.
You broke your own
I can guess that. I
handbook.
can guess that.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what
Okay,
Makoto said
come
is right.
on.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
Boom, got it.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, I did it. Break.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Because it could very well be Leon's, because Leon's was hit by all those baseballs.
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Looting a handbook from the dead is not exactly loaning out.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch.
Well, we can just verify by looking at the handbook he currently has.
What's wrong, bro? Come on, tell him he's wrong.
Freaking I'm willing to sacrifice Mondo if it means striking you down, Taka.
You are wrong. You have to be wrong.
Sorry, I have an itch on my head, so if you hear a noise. Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Everything you just said is wrong. You made it all up.
Why don't we just check the handbook?
Then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
No, not one of these again.
That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Why can't we just look at the handbook he has? That's so much easier than doing one of these manga comics. Okay. Okay, first scene. I'll try going in order this time. Okay, we're gonna have the bag. And then we go here. Okay. It had to be when Chibi was entering the locker room, so I'm gonna assume Chibi was entering the boys' locker room. And from there, then we have this in card. Okay. Chibi goes in there, and the person, he gets angry. They lift their weight up like very heavily. They're angry about it, so that happens. Okay, then we have it where, gotta skip that. Okay, I don't think it's the weight. Okay, maybe it's this. Maybe it's like some cosmetic thing. Okay, next we have this. We have the two things. We have the poster being taken down. And then we have them carrying them in to there. They go to the girls' locker room. And then they put the poster up. Okay, things are coming together. So then Byakuya comes in. And then he has his extension cord. And then he puts the bloodlust on the wall to make things more interesting. And then we have that, we go there to the Chibi just hanging there. And then I guess Act 5, okay, sorry, okay. Judging by this image, the notebook's being thrown down. So, I guess it's slapping right there, and this one. I don't think it's this one, the notebook being held, because it's like a neutral pose. It can't be the weight, it can't be the doorknob, I don't think. I'm going with pool. It's the only thing that
Here's
makes
exactly
remote
what happened.
sense.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste?
For a second, thought I got something wrong.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
Come on, baby, going, yes! Oh my gosh, yes! No, we're getting it!
Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room.
Hopefully I somehow got this right
Once inside,
with the power of guessing.
he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro,
Come on!
and attacked him.
Oh, I don't know. Yes!
And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
Yes,
Which
I'm
is why
not
the
getting this.
killer hurried to try and
Stop
hide
getting
the
this.
act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting this.
And finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course.
So he used Ayaka or Junko's book.
But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem.
Okay, poser, yes, we're getting this.
And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch.
Okay, I think I got it.
That could have been the end of things, but no.
That's the
Yakuya
Yakuya
discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
So yeah, you can kind of see why I would be just doing the witch hunt at the Yakuya. Plus, he was getting a bit assertive with the investigation. Like, he was trying to lead things along so he could have full control.
So, after stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter.
Okay, hopefully, yes! Oh my gosh! I got it!
And
I got
around
it!
the same
First
time
try!
that the Yakuya was putting together this facade,
I know you made this decision. I didn't look at anything. I just guessed.
the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook.
That doesn't really look like a sauna. It looks more like a pool.
And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out.
Oh! What kind of sprite is that?
Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
It's like he turned into Guzma! It's your boy, Mondo!
Wait! No! can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof.
Well, we're going to verify that in the next episode. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever that you want. And with that, I will see you later. Bye.